galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the imperium of man. This is the age of darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancers retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the vengeful spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancers retreat. My name is Jesse. I can't take these guys anywhere online. I'm here today with Austin and Jared in person.
Hey.
Hey.
And online we got Steven and Will.
Hello.
Oh, Will, fix yourself.
I
love you, buddy.
I gotta know, did Jesse point to Jared and Austin when he introduced them?
With my eyes.
He did not.
And
He
his
did not
penis.
give us the point.
Okay, so it seems that dark age
Mainly
is
because he
past.
was too busy wondering what the fuck Jared was up to.
I'm fucking up over here, okay, guys?
So what else is new?
Oh, so much, Steven. So much is new.
Yeah, speaking of new, it's
Not
been a
really.
while.
There's nothing interesting. Just a bunch of trash models and like trash rules for garbage units. So I mean,
It was all
nothing.
trash.
Worse models for bad legions.
Yeah,
I mean, it is Imperial Fists
just
and Ultramarines.
completely terrible stuff.
Just
but-
horrible garbage.
Thanks for coming, Jared.
Garbage.
But yeah, so this has been an episode of the Remembrancers retreat, and we'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye.
None of you can dim my joy. Okay?
Guys, there was a shit ton.
true.
There was a shit ton of heresy.
Good heresy, too. Tell you what.
We'll start.
Yeah.
It was
none of this like teasing nonsense. We got models. We got rules for the models. Beautiful.
So I think we have a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So can we dive right into this?
Let's do it.
I'd like to start off first with box art.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
Did not expect it to go that way, but okay.
It's good. It is really good. It feels like they took a clip out of like the black books. You know how they
Yeah.
do the Photoshop and make it look like it feels like that good.
Oh, yeah.
Much better than like the 40K stuff where it's just like a blank gray slate background. I really like the background, and the logo I think works well with everything. So before we just saw that stupid logo and we're like, this looks dumb. Some people were like, I kind of like it. But I mean, I'm on board after seeing this new box art. It all works together, and I really like it. The fact that the box art shows like the Legion instead of just like Space Marines. It'll tell you Adeptus Astartes, Blood Angels, or Imperial Fist. You know what I mean? So very cool.
Don't know if that's particularly for the special edition. I don't know how many special Legion characters we'll see in plastic as opposed to resin, because most of them are already in resin. So we'll see what happens there. But
Can't wait for Fafnir Rhan to flood the shelves like Gregor Fellhand.
I'm just using it as a prerequisite, or I guess a precedent for what we could expect more plastic kits to come out looking like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And if that's the case, then I like everything clear cut, beautiful visuals on the front, and then collecting it. How many times do you go send somebody? Okay, maybe not often, but you ask for a gift and you're like, I want Space Marines, but Blood Angels, and they're like, I don't know what Blood Angels are, so I'll just get generic Space Marines, and they get you like a Dark Angel or something like that. You know what I mean?
Look,
it's
Will,
happened before.
ever since I sent my mother when I was 14 to the game store to get me some orcs and goblins for my birthday, and she came back with a box of skeletons. I love
now
you,
you're
Mom,
an
not
Adept
that you listen.
player,
But it's what got me started into Dogs of War, actually. But anyway, that was the first, last, and only time I've ever sent anyone to a game store to buy nerd shit on my behalf.
I imagine some of us have been burned pretty bad before like that.
this was before cell phones and stuff, where
I
pictures.
gotta say,
Jesus Christ, it was 2002.
before they could actually send pictures and stuff, maybe
Yeah.
with any sort of, I don't know.
I certainly didn't have a camera on my phone, Jesse.
didn't.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But so I just thought that's pretty neat. Just little details like that I enjoy.
It's fun. And speaking of those boxes, well, we're not going to talk about them first. We're going to talk about the Ultramarine destroyers. Get that out of the way chronologically right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. A 20-man destroyer squad, guys. That's pretty wicked. That's ridiculous.
With an absolute disregard for human life.
Yes.
Yeah. And the artwork they put on them is really, really nice.
Yeah.
I love the burnt black armor, but the shoulders are blue still. But you can tell they're like in the process of being burned off again. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, and I like that because a lot of the Legion kit, like they're just, oh, here's black guys with whatever Legion iconography on it. And like for most of them, they don't paint their armor black. They just
It just happens that
have
way.
the toxic
scorched black.
sludge
Yeah,
of their enemies
exactly.
poured across their bodies. So like,
And I feel like these guys definitely look like that.
Yeah. Fun fact: these Nemesis destroyers are the Heresy era predecessors to the 40k Nemesis chapter, which is formed from the 22nd chapter, I believe, of the Ultramarines, and that is their color scheme is black armor with blue shoulder guards.
No way.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, love the continuity.
yeah,
Thank
bless,
you guys.
bless whoever's
The
doing
Nemesis chapter
that.
was formed from the Ultramarines destroyer cadres.
Yeah, they're just like, hey guys, we really can't have you being with the rest of us after all the sins you've committed.
You wanna go commit war crimes on your own?
You're gonna need to find a new house. All what
I don't
honor
remember
and
who is their who their first chapter master is, but he's an Ultramarine with a lot of problems.
Anger issues. Yeah, I don't remember.
He's a bad bitch.
chemical
But yeah,
addictions.
it's
I'm
a
sure.
sweet
Yeah.
unit. Like it's 190 points for 10. So like, whatever. That's not the end of the world.
Is that on price with standard line destroyers?
Yes.
No, destroyer.
think so.
So destroyers come in 5 at 115.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're a little pricier than regular destroyers, but well worth it. Basic Marine stat line, all across the board. Power armor, lots of 4s, leadership 9, whatever. Nobody cares about that.
Everybody's leadership 9, which I thought was a cool.
Everybody is leadership 9, which is nice. They have frag, crack, rad, grenades, power armor, hardened armor, stubborn, which is sweet, bolt pistol, chainsword, and then a bolter with Nemesis ammunition.
Right.
And that is the most disrespectful shit I have seen since people started bringing Volkite support squads.
Question: these guys do not have counterattack like their standard destroyer counterparts, right?
I don't think they should be waiting for people to attack.
No.
To be fair.
No. I mean, Grant, yes,
don't.
you are correct, right? But they don't have counterattack,
Correct.
which I did notice.
Yeah.
But I guess they have the Nemesis ammo, which I think makes up for it.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So
They are FedEx. We come to you.
So the Nemesis ammunition has a range of 18 inches, strength 4, AP 5. It is assault 2, which is pretty cool. But the cherry on top is harrower. Any to wound roll of 6 is resolved at AP 2, so similar to rending. Additionally, any unit from which a model is removed as a casualty during the shooting phase as a result of an attack from a weapon with this special rule must make a morale check as if they had suffered 25% casualties.
So what does that actually mean in game? What do you, if you suffer 25% casualty, somebody who's not so versed in the leadership side of things?
So
I believe this is telling you to check twice. So what would happen, you've got 10 militia and you get harrowed and there's 4 of you left because Jesus.
Okay, yeah.
You would say, hey, have I taken a casualty from a harrower, a weapon with the harrower ability? Yes, leadership check, as if I had suffered 25%. And then it is, have I taken 25% overall? Yes, fuck, do it.
That's interesting.
Oh,
I
so
didn't-
you're
Continue to have a bad time.
I didn't quite read it that way, but I mean, I suppose that's potentially. I was thinking just the fact that no matter how few models you manage to get off their board, they still have to make a morale check or start falling back.
I was the
That's
same
the-
way.
So
I mean,
yeah.
they do have to take the 2 tests because it's 2 separate sources.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And remember, in 30K, it's not just one. It's not just one morale phase.
True.
It's still multiple morale phases for everything,
Right.
which you
But-
take throughout the phase.
You would ostensibly take, because Harrower triggers during the shooting attack, and hey, thanks Heresy for being a super bloated rule set. Harrower triggers during the shooting attack, before the actual action is technically complete, and then if you suffer 25% casualties, regardless of whether or not you've been harrowed, take another test.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Gotcha,
So, like,
gotcha.
say
Yep,
you've got
yep,
a
that makes
special
sense.
weapon in this squad, right? Because they can take, I think, the standard variety.
Yes.
Yeah,
Flamer, plus
As
they
if
can
they
do
were a
Rad
veteran
missiles,
Heavy
squad.
bolters,
Yeah.
Volkites.
Yeah, a las cutter if you want to be super rude in Zone
Also,
Mortalis.
plasma guns.
Yeah.
But none of those
Just
are
for
really
good measure.
impressive. Like the only thing that you
Normal
might
destroyers can't take them, though.
That's true, but do you really want to get rid of that harrowing bolter for a
No,
plasma
I
gun?
don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Exactly.
No,
But it's a cool
you
option.
absolutely do, because it doesn't matter how many people have the Harrower bolters, you still have the Harrower rule.
It's
So
true, but that's only
you
for
throw
the
in
bolters.
some plasma guns just for funsies.
The Harrower is
Absolutely.
only for the bolters, though, so you do need kind of a critical mass of bolter. Like, you're not shooting militia every game you play. So, like,
Inflict one casualty
Yeah.
with a bolter.
Keep in mind, it's also rending.
Yeah.
yeah, there is that, which is
Everyone's played
disrespectful.
with
So
enough
rude.
10-man blocks of Space Marines to know that 10 bolter shots fired at just about anything short of 2-up save targets will inflict at least one wound.
Yep.
Also,
That's fair
18
enough.
inches, that's 6 extra inches of firepower they're getting
Yeah,
with their 2
yeah.
shots. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really it really hurts me as a militia flare who favors the Laslock, which is an 18-inch range weapon. That, like, I'm going to do that, and then these guys are going to do that, and you can take up to 20 of them, right? 17 points a piece to get you extra ones,
A little
Just
pricier
getting
than
heated.
normal, but
Yeah.
but still a little cheaper than the base squad. What up?
Yeah, that is because these Nemesis squads are at 190 points. I know we touched on it earlier, but you're getting 10 guys for 190 points, whereas destroyers are 5 guys for 115. So these guys are, I think, substantially cheaper than
How much
regular
are destroyers? How much are normal destroyers per extra?
Hold
Dude,
on,
is
I
it
got
like
that.
15?
I got that.
I'd have to pull up the.
Holy shit, those are
hold on,
Assault
I got
2
it.
bolters.
Yeah, they're assault too. That's another point. It's not rapid fire.
Yeah, so it's not 10 shots, it's 20 from 10 guys.
These guys are absolutely devastating in a Zone Mortalis setting.
Oh,
Just
Yeah, where they have... Because
like you bring 15 of them and you do whatever you want because you can still make that 4-up initiative check,
Yep.
shoot at regular BS. You're really going to walk into rending ammunition that you haven't.
Okay, hold on. This is the outdated one. I don't have the updated, but let me see. Destroyers were 20 points a pop.
okay.
Yeah, that's definitely changed. I know for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe it went down to 15. Like, it's not a drastic. I think baseline, these guys are like at or right at the
There we
same
go.
price as.
There were 15. So the playtest, effectively the official now right
3
now.
years ago
Yeah.
playtest.
Yeah, Legion Destroyer Squad, 5 guys at 115 points, with each additional destroyer at 15 points a pop.
So 190 for 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Nemesis are 17 points each. Okay, so these guys are a little bit better, but they get Harrow.
Take 20 and then just give them all melta bombs at 25 points for the
Serious?
entire unit.
Yeah. Well, look,
I was about to bring that up. Like, my God.
395 points gets you 20 of these guys with melta bombs and a Vexilla.
Yep.
I mean, hold on. You're
And you
going to
can
want to
give 'em
throw a
Phosphex
Vox on there.
bombs.
Give them a Vox because you know they're going to have quad guns with rad grenade or rad mortars on them. So you're going to want the Vox on there too.
Oh yeah,
Just
no,
to,
you can trick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a magnificent unit.
They're really
It really
more
is.
like a combination of a veteran squad and a
Yeah.
A hybrid veteran
destroyer squad.
destroyer, yeah.
Best part,
Yeah.
they're not a like 0 to 1 option. You can
Yep.
fill out your entire
fill out
elite
as
section.
many
with
as
Yeah,
have
this.
you could
elites.
theoretically bring 80.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you just bring 2 10-man tactical squads to fill compulsory and then
You
80
wanna have no friends?
destroyers.
Yeah, you could fit 80 of these guys in a 2,500 point list. Easy.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be worth it to bring to face that one guy at like every con who brings 6 quad guns or something.
Jesus, that's
Yeah.
that's only 1540.
Oh, bye-bye custodes.
Yeah.
Bye-bye
Get outta here.
custodes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
1540?
Now
Yeah,
remember
Just
as well
whatever, fill out your
that-
basic.
Yeah.
Or so you could probably
2 tac squads.
You could sneak it in a 2,000-point game. You really could.
Also,
because you can save 100
gonna
points by not
wanna-
getting melta bombs.
Delegatus.
You wouldn't
You're
want
also,
to. It would be bad, but God, it would be good.
You're going to want to remember all the unwritten rules or all the unwritten synergies that work with destroyers, these destroyers, because they are ultramarines. So basically, as long as they're not the first thing firing in a turn, they're rerolling ones to hit.
Right, with
coordinated strike.
Yeah.
With interlocking tactics. If they do charge somebody, then what do they reroll the charge if they charge someone who's already been charged?
So no, you get to at shooting you get to reroll ones to shoot and to wound.
Is it to wound as well? I thought it's just to hit.
I'm pretty sure it's both.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah. What I kind of like the idea of is have to hold an objective, right? Because these are not forward assaulting destroyers as we tend to think of them.
I don't know. That's how I would use them.
18-inch range.
Putting out a line of breachers, right, in front of these guys.
Yes.
And then just harrowing from behind them.
Counterpoint. Get you one of those lovely Rites of War, because it can choose a Rhino as a dedicated transport.
Mm-hmm.
Get you one of those lovely Rites of War that lets you put them in a drop pod.
Mm-hmm.
And be damned to the 18-inch range.
Yeah.
And just orbital assault your way to glory.
And take flamers as your special weapons.
There's always
really
termites.
Just go all in.
There's always termites.
Yes, termites.
They're what, 65 points?
Something like that, yeah.
Another cool idea would be do Angel's Wrath or Descent of Angels. The assault troop. The assault squad, right, that makes them troops and gives them hit and run. So you run these guys kind of a pace behind assault squads. Assault squads charge, do the business, hit and run out to go charge something else. Destroyers mop up.
Isn't there something... I'd have to look at the restrictions for them.
And of course, we would be remiss to not mention that this is yet another dick move Alpha Legionnaires can do.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. Finally, headhunters aren't completely... I mean, they're still obsolete, but finally you can have cool Alpha Legion headhunters.
Do your headhunters, coils of the Hydra, and hey, front of us this.
They got harrowing in the name.
Yeah, so. Right? It all makes sense.
Another slap in the face to the 20th Legion.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it really...
I'm full of terrible plans.
Boy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure most of the units that have been shown through these legendary battles or exemplary battles have been elites, haven't they?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
And I don't even think for Alpha Legion, it's not even elites. It's just any unit.
Legion-specific.
Any Legion-specific unit, that's not a character model.
Oh, well then, there you go.
Yeah, because Chris would take Dark Furies, and those are fast attack.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And you can do Grey Slayers.
I thought it had to be an elite.
Do that.
No, it's any Legion-specific. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Enough time has passed that I've forgotten how any of the individual Legion rules work.
Fair enough.
People will take tyrants, and those are heavy supports.
Yeah. But yeah, these are beautiful and terrible.
Put them with a warmonger, and you don't even need a drop pod right
Oh,
anymore.
Jesus wept! I forgot about those.
Just bam, teleport in.
We were talking about it right before you got here.
Everybody down.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
40 shots, just.
This is a fantastic way to hunt artillery.
Yeah.
With a warmonger and a Nemesis destroyer squad.
My
just
poor
drop
friggin'
down
militia artillery.
on that Basilisk crew. And warmonger, throw some Phosphex bombs.
Just.
Nemesis out some fools, and then make them all fall down when Harrower kicks in.
Bad times.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we're talking about the glory that would be 20 of these coming down, but you really only need the 10. If you're playing games like that with them, you only need the 10.
Yeah.
They're Assault 2 bolters. You don't need 20. You have the firepower of 20 already.
You just want 20. 'Cause damn.
Because it's just that much nastier.
Just maximum rude.
But really cool unit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, I mean, not like Ultramarines needed more cool units, but this is definitely a nice little touch for them.
They absolutely did. I don't know what you're talking about, Will.
What? Have we forgotten Suzerains? What are we talking about?
No, it just disregarded them.
No, we've 2 books have come out since Suzerains. At least 2 books, 3.
I still think they're
now we got
one of the
Grey
best.
Slayers.
Oh,
no! I think they're better than Grey
Tears.
Slayers. Yeah.
Boy, would you be wrong.
I do not think
when
these
you
are
get
better than
charged by
Grey Slayers.
and
Don't
axed
think so.
to death.
I believe Grey Slayers could take them.
They do a thing that Grey Slayers can't do. I mean, it's a niche. I don't think it's a comparable Like they fit in the Ultramarine army really well.
They do. And like
But
the harrowing is great, but the Grey Slayers are unlikely to break and run, and then they will like the Grey Slayers could get there, could start out of their range of fire, could get into range, and successfully charge very easily because they can do the run and charge, and then they're just in there with power swords.
Unless you get yeeted out of charge range.
By what?
40
AP2
shots of
bolters?
AP2 bolters.
Well, then,
Like
so
it's snap firing. That's still not going to get the job done.
Man, my
no,
life is
I've-
chaos.
So
I mean, if they're snap firing, that's all they need. I mean, they just need the 6s to cause rending anyways, right?
Or lose a single guy and fail that morale check.
I mean, it's still on 9s.
Yeah.
Like,
Where
I mean,
y'all,
it'll happen, but
Oh, I see. So it's not rending. Harrower is AP2 at 6. Oof.
Yep.
Gross.
All right, so moving on, I hadn't really taken a look at the special missions, which I feel sad about.
Meh.
But for the scouring of the Ororin arcology, some of the special rules include corporeal hosts, which, for the purposes of playing the scenarios that follow, the word-bearer players may include units of Ruin-Storm Possessed from Horus Heresy Book 8 Malevolence in their army selection as non-compulsory troop choices.
which is hilarious because I don't know why. Like the militia version, like the Solar Oxy version, yeah, because they're just cheap troops, and why the hell not? But very specifically, a possessed Marine is worse than a normal Marine.
Yep.
It's just there to be on the board while your demons aren't. But it's a nice, flavorful little thing.
Look, it's so that people, if we have roads that make us faster, then we can have cheap, dumb demon marines to stand there. The exemplary battles are here for us.
Yeah. And also, Tortured World. At the start of each game turn after the first, both players must roll a d6. The results should be added together, adding a +1 if any weapons of strength 8 or more were fired in the previous turn. And the results of the following chart should be applied after any models have been deployed from reserves, but before any other models are moved. So they got a 2 for 5 where nothing happens, a 6 through 7 where all models on the battlefield suffer a penalty of -1 to their ballistic skill, to a minimum BS of 1 for the duration of the game turn. Partial collapse, where rocks fall and almost everybody dies. Scatter 3 large blast templates 4d6 from the center of the board. If the result of a scatter die is a hit, the template must be scattered in the direction of the small arrow that appears on that face. Guess we're keeping the scatter die for sure, guys.
Yeah.
Any models underneath any of the templates in their final position after scattering suffer a single strength 8 AP-hit. A model with an armor value suffers a hit due to this rule must resolve that hit against its rear armor value.
Ooh, sorry, Dreadnoughts.
And models that can drink, models that can jink,
Models that
excuse
can
me.
drink.
Any model 21 years or older.
Models that are able to jink must declare that they will jink before any scatter die are rolled. And my favorite, radiation exposure. If you roll a 2d6 total of 11 or 12, the intense radiation of the poisoned sun breaches through into the subterranean cavern with deadly effects. Cold Void and Poisoned Air optional Zone Mortalis special is used for the remainder of the game.
Jesse, this recording is actually your intervention.
For the remainder of the game.
Jesse's intervention? You're on like your second or third, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm halfway through my first.
Shut up. Don't worry about it.
Ah,
All right, Dan.
anyway. But there's a lot here. We'll have to cover it sometime in the future.
Cold
Yeah.
Void and Poison Air. I do not remember what those do.
Cold Void is rending on any weapon that is strength 4 or higher, and any weapon that already has rending rends on a 5.
Whew.
Uh-huh. And then Poisoned Air probably has something to do with poison in the air.
Is that's not, I know, overpressurized environment is the one that re-rolls templates.
Maybe?
For
I don't,
flamers.
man, you know how long it's been since I've played? Jason was getting married the last time that I played a Zone Mortalis game.
My God.
If an attack already has rending, then it's on 5+. Yeah. And I got a quick reference here that says Cold Void and Poisoned Air, like it's the same rule. Or all attacks with strength 4 or higher cause rending, unless the target has hardened armor, void hardened armor, a 2-up save, or an armor value. And mixed units apply the rending wounds to the most vulnerable models first. And if the attack already has rending, then it's on a 5-up. unless a target has hardened armor, 2-up save, or navy value. All attacks with blast also cause pinning.
Yeah,
Just
so
so
the ecology busts open and all sorts of bad things happen. You have exceeded
Unpleasantness occurred.
your allotted amount of radiation dosage for the year. You cannot work in the nuke sites anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's more than 5R, buddy.
So, we can talk about Fafnir Rhan yet?
Always with you, it's Fafnir Rhan.
I've been hiding
Always
a
with the
boner
Rhan.
for like 30
All
minutes
right.
here.
Yeah, I'm tired of looking at it. So here we go. All right. God damn. All right. Fafnir Rhan. All right. This is Jared's time.
Hi,
everybody.
guys.
This is Jared's time. Go ahead.
You know, I had just a horrible day at work when this happened, and then these rules dropped, and it just lifted. It was the wind beneath my wings. Fafnir Rhan.
That's his nom de guerre.
That's a nice
right?
poem right there.
Yeah,
Fafnir Rhan, the wind beneath my wings.
That's you know, he's a poet at heart. He's a warrior. You know, he's a warrior artist here. But holy shit, guys, we got Fafnir Rhan rules. My God, he's 200 points, fine. Normal Praetor cost.
I should also preface this that Jared has an executioner's army as well.
I do.
So he's a bit passionate about Fafnir Rhan.
He's styled his facial hair after him.
Coincidental, actually. I mean, to be fair for our listeners, I've been playing Stone Gauntlet for like 7 years.
As far as
Yeah.
that's all I remember you ever rolling out.
Yeah. That's like this has been my baby for a long time, and if you go back to the episode where we conjectured what our Fafnir Rhan rules would hopefully look like,
We were right.
GW met and exceeded those expectations. My God. So what? He's 200 points. So basic Praetor costs, has like exactly Praetor stats. But he's got basic war gear: artificer armor, bolt pistol, frag and crack, iron halo. But this is where things get spicy. He's got a boarding shield also, and then the headsman and the hunter, which we'll get to later. The special rules are really where Fafnir Rhan shines. Obviously, Legiones Astartes Imperial Fists, independent character, Master of the Legion, Executioner's Tax, Shield Master, Hammer of Wrath, because again, that Stone Gauntlet, Hardened Armor, Warlord, and he's got his own special Warlord trait, which we'll get to. He may be equipped with a teleportation transponder, but, for 10 points, okay, yes, you could do that, but really, you're unlikely to. Maybe in ZM.
I bet it's 10 points for Deep Strike. Delightful.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad.
Does that confer to the rest of the unit?
I would, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Shit.
delightful.
Suddenly he
mean,
does
it's a
become a
good rule.
warmonger.
Yeah. 10 points.
Yeah.
It's 10 points to let him and a group of 20 of those shitty, awful breachers that you have just do
Austin's
disrespectful things.
Not salty at all about.
He's already got an Iron Halo, so Iron Halo teleporter. He's a warmonger.
Yeah.
But continue. I don't want to rain on your parade.
I do, and I'm gonna.
Yeah.
but
I was waiting
later.
for Steven to pipe up. So his Warlord trait, which in my opinion, as somebody who's run Stone Gauntlet since near day one, is the best of the Warlord traits. It's just so perfect. If Fafnir Rhan is the army's Warlord, Fafnir Rhan in any models in any Legion Breacher Siege Squad or Phalanx Warder Squad in the same detachment gain a bonus of +1 to their weapon skill for the duration of any assault phase in which they successfully charge an enemy unit. In addition, if Fafnir Rhan is the army's Warlord, then a single Phalanx Warder Squad may be chosen as a troop's choice in the army's primary detachment if that detachment has Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule. So, your Breachers, your Phalanx Warders, are now weapon skill 5 on a charge. In addition to the Hammer of Wrath they get from Stone Gauntlet, they are now weapon skill 5. So those Breacher charges I take every chance I get are now swinging at weapon skill 5. And hey, if they're on a sergeant, they're re-rolling ones. It's
Don't
just
like
beautiful.
that.
It's so elegant.
We don't
It
like
takes
that
We don't love it.
the exceedingly vanilla Breacher squad and gives them some teeth.
I mean,
It gives them
They had
extra
teeth.
large balls instead of
Suddenly
large
they're
balls.
a caramel macchiato.
Yes. This puts some Kahlua
I mean, they're
in your
still-
cappuccino.
They're still basic because they're Imperial fists.
Yeah. And I got,
But
they're
also,
fancy.
my Interrupters have plasma shotguns that, reroll.
this is why I
Charges.
also put melta-guns on the breachers because fuck you extra hard. Okay? but no, really, this is
That is real good.
You are giddy. You
so-
are giddy.
yes, and I was spitballing in the chat the day this came out. It creates such an amazing synergy between Fafnir Rhan and particularly other HQ choices. So if you run a Herald with a Phalanx squad and this Rite of War, all of a sudden, when you make a charge, your Phalanx warders, your troop choice, if you're taking Stone Gauntlet, or if you as per his Warlord trait, are now weapon skill 6. They're hitting everything on 3s. It's just glorious. It's beautiful. Mix him with a Forge Lord with rad grenades. It's such a great force multiplier.
Really rather you didn't bring rad grenades into this equation.
Oh yes.
What was the name of the exemplary battle Imperial Fist ones?
Oh,
Because they are HQ units.
It's a
I just
parallel
forgot.
the
That is-
battle, I
Huskarls.
think.
The Huskarls are HQ units. I forgot
it's
about
Battle
that.
for
Yeah,
Pluto.
yeah,
Everyone else is elites, but Huskarls are HQ units.
yeah.
So you could shove him in them and give them deep.
But they already get deep strike.
Well, they could all come down together.
Yeah.
Parallel party.
No, it's just such a beautiful. When we look at the particularly the passages in the Siege of Terra books where Fafnir Rhan is present. Particularly, there's one that sticks out to me. It's in First Wall where he's got just a
The pages stick
wall.
together for him, but that's neither here nor
Shut
there.
up. There's a wall of breachers who are just mulching through a wall of traitor militia that are charging them. And I think they said, 300,000 dead is a pretty good butcher's tally for an hour's of work. This is that type of rule on the tabletop. That is what you're dealing with here. It's just perfect. It's wonderful. But going to moving on, he's got special rule Executioner's Tax. When an enemy unit successfully charges Fafnir Rhan or any unit Fafnir Rhan is joined, that enemy unit suffers D3 plus 3 Strength 5 AP- hits. These attacks hit automatically and are resolved during the fight subphase at initiative step 10, but grant no model pile-in moves and do not benefit from any special rule that Fafnir Rhan or any other model in the unit may have. Hits inflicted by the special rule are allocated as normal for attacks made in the assault.
It's like a reverse Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah,
It's so
it
stupid.
is.
You know how disrespectful this is? You know what I hate the most about this? Is that you're doing this and then those fucking demo charges are coming down.
Yep. Eat all the dicks, guys. No, really. It's I'm trying to imagine what this would be like in the fluff. Is he like just yeeting an axe into the the massive traitor marines? Is he?
No one has deserved a Medusa battery more.
Honestly, it probably represents like a bolter volley before before the charge.
I love.
It says he. No. So read the.
Yeah,
fluff.
it's him doing like a bull charge back at them. Like that's what it reads.
As unstoppable on the attack as he is unyielding in the defense, Rann is uncharacteristically bellicose and aggressive member of the 7th Legion, often choosing to close with the enemy on his own terms rather than rely on ranged firepower.
Definitely uncharacteristically.
Okay, so he just like shoulder checks
aggressive.
them and he just steps on people.
He shoulder checks between 4 and 6 people as
Look,
they come in.
lethally.
You've seen the Space Marine
Yeah.
pauldrons; they're big.
Yeah, that shield is coming around and it's just taking heads, guys.
Arms spread wide, just running at him.
And
Fafnir Rhan!
yes, very much so. And so, there's a brief little snippet in Praetorian of Dorne where him and Sigismund are holding Pluto, and they just boarded an Alpha Legion ship, and it turns out they're getting bamboozled because they're facing Alfarius, and Sigismund.
Bamboozle.
they realize like, oh crap, this ship is actually like empty except for like this kill team of Alpha Legion, and Sigismund just runs straight forward in his particular idiom, and Fafnir Rhan's like, look, motherfuckers, get in line, everybody. That's this rule to me is just, he's first in defense, he's first in attack, he's everything you need him to be. But
his name is Fafnir Rhan. All right.
I feel like the Shaft theme song should be playing whenever Fafnir does anything. He's a bad legionary.
Mm-hmm. So this is where he moves from bad legionary to bad motherfucker. Shield Master. Fafnir, for his unconventional ability to use a combination of axe and shield, Rann's talents with this combination of weapons are unsurpassed.
And can I just pause you? I need to pause you. I need to pause you. This is the second time some fucking white girl basic legion is suddenly good with an axe and a shield. Meanwhile,
it almost characteristic.
Meanwhile, every goddamn person on Fenris, man, woman, and child, is better with an axe and a shield than Fafnir Rhan, but he gets the special rules. It's horseshit. You heard it here first. But I don't want to piss on your parade, Jared. You go right on.
Well, it's like those.
At least shake it off. I don't want that going in your pants.
It's like a shitty TikTok video where it's like, oh, check out this girl who can fire a gun real good. Yeah, of course. Anybody can fire a gun real good with practice, but TikTok. I hate TikTok. I just wanted to put that out. I've also been drinking too, so here we go. Go ahead.
Shut up. TikTok is great. You just haven't refined your algorithm, so you're getting dumb garbage.
It's
okay,
all
refine
vapid.
your algorithm, create an account, like videos you like, comment on them, and the algorithm will learn what you like. And then you'll get
I
good
swear
content.
to God, they're not our Patreon.
How much did TikTok pay you for that spot there, Will?
What is happening here?
All we want is all of your information. That's
Oh, Lord Almighty. You know what? I'm just restarting that whole sentence because
go
it
ahead.
went off the rails.
Go ahead.
Y'all fucked it up. Shield Master. Famed for his unconventional ability to use a combination of axes and shield, Rhan's talents with this combination of weapons are unsurpassed. Unsurpassed, Austin. And his ability to make the most of his shield's defensive capabilities.
I'm trying so hard not to rain in his parade.
Unrivaled. Unrivaled.
By any other Imperial fists, I'm assuming.
By
unconventional.
Any swinging dick.
Yeah. Axe and shield. Oh, God.
Nobody's ever seen that before.
Fuck.
Spicy takes on Remembrancers.
Get in the fucking line, Fafnir Rhan.
We spent way too much on the fluff. Go ahead.
My God. When Fafnir Rhan is locked in combat and his controlling player has chosen to use the single axe profile, which we'll get to, for the headsman and the hunter in that phase, all hits inflicted by enemy models and allocated to Fafnir Rhan must reduce their strength by 1 to a minimum of 1 when using the twinned axe profile for the headsman and the hunter. This special rule grants no benefit. Fafnir Rhan is not counted as having a boarding shield for any rules that would grant him benefits from having a boarding shield, and Fafnir Rhan may ignore the usual restrictions for using a weapon with a two-handed special rule when also having a boarding shield until the end of that assault phase.
So I gotta say, go ahead.
So that particular, to fist players in particular, that means he does not get the benefit of Stone Gauntlet in addition. So he's not T6.
Oh, no.
I know.
But
we can't have everything in life.
How cool is it now that you have different weapon swaps on the fly for a character?
What can I say? He's bad.
You mean like Corax?
Yeah, I mean, so he would
I
he would
guess
get
Corax.
that benefit if he's using the one axe and the shield.
Yeah.
So you can pick your poison.
Absolutely.
Fighting a big robot that you need to not be instant death by, you become T6. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So your power fists are not going to instant death you. It's just good times. That's really all I can say about it. I mean, it's think about this is your if he's fighting another Praetor with a Paragon blade, you're wounding him on 4s. It's such just a elegantly written rule. It's perfect.
But now,
the headsman and the hunter. These twinned axes were Fafnir Rhan's constant companions, and that warrior had mastered a unique style of combat, switching between his axes and shield to meet any combat situation. Few foes could stand against this potent combination of ferocious attack and indomitable defense.
You think he slept with them like Dorn slept with the Blanky?
Yeah,
Hey.
of course he did. He absolutely.
I mean,
Constant companion. Yeah, nice. Fafnir Rhan. These are
To be fair, though, the man who sleeps with machete is only called a fool every night but one.
That's a very good point, Jesse. Yeah,
These are axes. No. These are my emotional support tools.
Again,
How dare you call them
can't
axes?
stress enough. He got these when he was a fucking space marine.
Actually, I would argue against that, due to the fact that from First Wall we know that he was supposed to be the chosen one. He was supposed to be some great war leader of Inuit.
Yeah, hand out a lot of master-crafted power weapons on Inuit.
And turns out
a lot of those.
Rogel Dorn showed up, and Fafnir knew, okay, I gotta get in line.
Just
give me that gene seed.
Piles of master-crafted power axes hanging out on Inuit.
I need a Ron versus Dorn showdown here.
I don't
Boy,
know
is that going to be short. I don't. Ron may be really good, but I don't think he's that good.
No, he is
not a Praetor.
No, he is not.
Or he's not a friggin' Primarch, man.
I don't like his chances. Sorry, guys. Fafnir Rhan's power axes, the headsman and the hunter, are considered a single weapon with two profiles. One representing Fafnir Rhan using a single axe in concert with a shield, and one representing Fafnir Rhan using both axes at once. In each fight subphase, Fafnir Rhan's controlling player may choose one of these two profiles to use for all of Fafnir Rhan's attacks. Note that the Shield Master special rule allows Fafnir Rhan to make use of a weapon with a two-handed special rule despite having a breaching shield.
And I love that they spelled that out as idiot-proof as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. This was good.
This would,
Good on you, Forge World. Thank you.
Some mouth breather on the internet would be arguing this, but really you can't. This is as crystal clear as is humanly possible.
I like how this is.
That doesn't stop mouth breathers.
Well, but they made a damn good effort, I gotta say.
I do like how this is. You can change it at each fight phase.
Yeah.
So if you want to, if your enemy's got some other stupid shit up on there,
which is kind of unique for 40K games, as far as I remember, because I remember the old Fantasy. You could have units equipped differently, but you had to pick, and that's just what they were using for the whole fight.
Yeah.
Fafnir Rhan, no fucks. Oh, God, a Castellax is charged in. Quick, bring the shield back out.
Yeah. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
So with his single axe profile, he's +2 strength, so he's strength 6, AP 2. Melee, Shield Master, which we just covered, Specialist Weapon, and Master Crafted. So keep in mind with your Master Crafted, so you're rerolling one failed roll to hit. And then if you're in a challenge, you're rerolling all your ones. So that's just a whole lot of rerolls. You're going to hit something. And just going over, that just covers Shield Master again. And then Twinned Axe. Your +1 strength, AP 2. Melee, Rampage, Specialist Weapon, two-handed, and Master Crafted as well. So Rampage, to save you from having to look it up, if Fafnir is outnumbered in a combat, he gets +D3 attacks. So
on the charge, if I remember right.
No, it's just +D3 attacks. Yeah. So, say he charged.
I guess Fury's charge is the one that gives you +1 attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Fury's charge gives you +1 strength. Rage gives you +1 attack.
Yeah, don't listen to me, guys. I don't care. This edition. I'm going to throw it all out the window here in a second.
Yeah, screw it.
It pains me to point this out. It really does.
But
again, I'm trying so hard not to rain on your parade, Jared.
Be pained, Austin.
I will point out that these master crafted power axes of Doom seem to swing an initiative.
Yep.
Yeah, what about it?
They don't have unwieldy.
Nope.
Axes normally don't, Jared.
What about it?
I'm going to die mad about it. That's why.
Hey, Austin, here's something else for you to die mad about, right? Oh, never mind. He's only... Okay, never mind. You know what? I thought he was instant deathing mortals when he's got Rampage, but he does not.
No, just with a... But if I run him with a Forge Lord,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or if
no,
he
he's not
uses,
instant deathing them. He's just doing an additional D3 plus 3 strength 5 to them before the fight even starts.
I will say props to you, Jared. You did call out Rampage and AP2 when they first revealed
Thank you.
Fafnir. So you got.
But
We'll just put that.
That was Jared
put that little feather in your cap.
coming to conclusion. For those of you that weren't here to witness that kind of disturbing moment.
Yeah.
So,
This
you
is
know,
a family
we were
show.
discussing that in our chat earlier. You know, think about, you know, the way I run these guys, and the way I'm going to run Fafnir is particularly with like probably a 15-man Phalanx Warder squad. You know, Phalanx Warders attract a lot of firepower because they're so nasty in close combat. So, and you know, doubly so with your Warlord in there. So they're going to take casualties. You're probably going to end up in some sort of outnumbered combat. You know, he's got 4 attacks, +1 for charging, and plus D3. So you got between 6 and 8 attacks on a charge. You know, say you charge a 20-man attack squad. You know, you're going into that sergeant with, you know, Mastercrafted, rerolling 1s and strength 5. You're going to do some work. It's just, it's a perfectly written set of rules for him. It so closely matches the fluff. It's everything you could ever ask it to be. Really, I genuinely hope GW keeps up this quality, moving forward into the next, you know, heresy phase whenever that comes. And, you know, with future characters, it's just 10 out of 10 guys. Seriously, well done.
I'm
would
glad
con-
to see someone super happy about a character.
Yeah.
Like I will say.
I will contest perfectly written. Because I said I was going to rain on your parade, and I meant it.
And he will.
Go ahead,
Strap
Steve.
in.
The gentleman from Texas has the floor.
Let's not get carried away with the Nomer gentleman. That should mean something.
For the boys and girls from Fenris, Stephen, have your say.
We're taking it home.
Steven is your representative.
So, admittedly,
Best of luck.
Fafnir is really cool. And at 200 points, I think that's my only real complaint about him, is his price cost. 200 points. He's too cheap.
Yeah,
He is too cheap.
He's definitely
I think
too
he's
cheap.
Because now, when we were initially all going gaga over Ron's rules, because again, I'll give it to Jared, they are really cool and they're really flavorfully written. The only problem is that Jared pretty much hit the nail on the head immediately after reading the rules when he said he's an auto take. There is almost no reason to ever take an HQ that isn't Fafnir Rhan.
Yeah, you'll never see a baseline Praetor in an Imperial Fist
He's
army.
gonna get. Ron will murder any non-named character that comes after him,
And a good number of the named ones, too.
and a good number of the
Leaving
named
aside
ones.
the Primarchs.
And
definitely.
the problem I have with that.
And let's
really-
face it, he could take Lorgar.
I mean, servitors can take Lorgar, and we've proven it.
May they live in glory forever.
Kind of, for the most part, not a lot of, at least early on, right, when the Heresy first started and we saw characters released for every legion, there weren't a lot of named characters that could equivocally wipe the floor with any other named character or their ranked equivalent, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just looking at my legion, Wardbearers, Erebus, Corphaeron, Zardulaic they can all get made fools of by vanilla Praetors with Paragon Blades. If you look at Ultramarines, what's his name? The dude with the banner? Remus?
Ventanus.
He's not that impressive. Even the Space Wolves, who are a close combat legion, don't have any named characters outside of their Primarch who kind of can mop up whoever they want. Karn can, Abaddon kind of can.
Yeah, anybody going up against an enemy Praetor with a Paragon Blade and kind of the standard 2-up, 4-up, it was always going to be a little iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, absolutely not.
I mean, you can still Paragon Blade him to death,
You absolutely can.
but he'll be T6 while you're trying to do it.
Yeah, and you're going to have to hope for Murderous Strike at that point.
Yeah.
Sounds like a job for the old great sword.
Although, Jesus Christ. So I will say,
I mean, he's got a point.
I will say,
Fail one armor save.
But like
He
even
is
the combat
cheap.
characters, even combat characters like Corswain, right? There's still enough, or Sevatar or Raldoron. There's still enough, I guess, chance that they're not just going to come into a combat and steamroll whoever they challenge. Where Ron has to challenge, so he's always going to be in a challenge, and he gets bonuses for challenging because he's an Imperial Fist.
Well,
and then he just, hey, nice Praetor over there, chop.
so, look at his fluff, particularly, and let's include for our listeners, if you haven't read Warhawk, cover your ears.
Oh yeah,
and
spoilers
and
in
go,
this episode.
Log off and immediately go read Warhawk. Get off your ass, all right?
Can't confirm, you should.
So
my take here, not only going into the heresy, he is captain of the first assault cadre. He is, right up there with Sigismund, neck and neck in getting into it with traitors. And we see him, right there with Sigismund throughout the entire heresy, taking the brunt of the traitors' assault, saving Sigismund's ass on a couple occasions, taking heads. That's what his role is. That's who he's supposed to be. He's not as storied as Sigismund or Abaddon, but he's kind of I imagine him as a working class hero.
So I would
The
believe
Bruce
that.
Springsteen of Space Marines.
The working man
Bruce
space
Springsteen
marine.
sucks.
I would believe
Johnny
that.
Cash.
The thing of it is, though, he's not just a beat stick because he's granting so many
he's got
models
a
in that
whole
army
bunch of-
plus 1 to weapon skill.
Yeah, you said
So many.
You said he's a force multiplier, and he is.
Yeah.
10 points, congratulations. Now you can deep strike anyone with him.
He's one of the few non-Primarchs that is both a beat stick and an
support
army,
character.
a support character.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, I think it's safe to say that these are going to be his rules next edition.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're all on board with that. And while he is undercosted now, we all
not
have
be
been
in the
playing GW games long enough to know that whenever a new edition comes out, everything gets a points reduction. So you can have more of it. So you can buy more models. So I mean,
Where's the
so you
lie?
can have
Where's the lie?
so you can have more epic battles.
So I'm going to say, you mentioned Corswain earlier, Stephen. I think Corswain can take this guy.
Corswain has a Tyrannic Greatsword, right?
He's got a
He has what's called the blade.
He has
strength
double
2,
A,
AP
yeah, which
1,
he did master.
strength 2, AP 1, 4 attacks base. It's two-handed, mastercrafted, duelist's triumph, which gives him instant death in challenges.
Okay.
And he has a 3-up invuln save in challenges.
he's going to
close
kill
combat.
Fafnir
Yeah,
Rhan.
Fafnir Rhan is going
In
to be
close
He's
combat
going to
attacks.
die.
good.
Sigismund's going to kill him.
He is also 200 points.
Yeah.
So while he may not be the churning,
He's not the force multiplier.
Yeah, he's not the force multiplier that Ron is. He is definitely a character killer.
He can
the head-
definitely
yeah.
remove
he's
Ron's
a character
force
killer.
multiplying.
Absolutely.
But there's,
He will knock away those axes that he had so amazingly couldn't, mind-blowingly learned how to use as an Imperial Fist and remove his head.
It
the
is
only
hard.
reason it's-
they're
the only
they're more
reason
used
it's
to
so-
shovels.
yeah, the only
And when
reason
you
it's
give
so
them an axe, it's just mind-blowing.
impressive is because he is an Imperial Fist, and they are
Oh my God.
criminally stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Uncharacteristically,
All right.
Yeah.
Imperial Fist.
Going into the fluff here a bit, allow me a moment for an aside.
Sure. Another moment. You have it.
Let's look at, what the executioners become in the Badab War in
Traitors?
40K.
He's been dead 10,000 years.
But his legacy lives on by God.
So, traitors.
Corswain has 4 wounds.
So, yeah. Going back to Jesse, Corswain would absolutely beat Fafnir Rhan's ass. There's no disputing that. I'm not going to argue
Well,
that
so here's
even
the thing.
one
is
bit.
that, yes, Corswain can probably beat Fafnir Rhan, and Corswain is also a steamroller, but Corswain, for all those things, isn't necessarily an auto take, right? And yes, they wrote Fafnir Rhan to his rules or to his fluff really well. I'm not saying they didn't, do Fafnir Rhan justice. I just wish they didn't price him at 200 points.
But here's the thing.
So
Jared, would
good.
you be taking, like, knowing the list you play, you play, would you take Fafnir Rhan if he was 240?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And that's our whole argument.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Jared's going to
take him at 250.
Yeah.
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 So no disputing there at all.
Yeah.
So
260. Do I hear 260?
I think this is my hot take. You heard it here first. I think going forward, we will see rules of this quality for other trader characters, for other characters they're putting out. Of similar, I think there will be. I think this is the archetype for what GW can base a character on and how they're going to write rules.
Jared, there's a way
we can hope.
There's a way we can find that out. And that's by looking at the Blood Angel character that came out at the same damn time.
Oh my God.
It's important. I'm going to be very,
if I may spitball
Oh.
for a moment.
Okay, fine. All right.
I had the perfect segue. Let the record show. I had the perfect segue.
Let the record also show that I have made a career out of ruining your segues. Is that I do hope that Jared's right when it comes to this kind of quality of rules writing for characters, because it would be kind of cool to see, and maybe I'm the only person that thinks this, right? But I like Hero Hammer. I like cool big HQs doing cool shit to each other while their friends
it's
fight
what
in the
the
back.
books are all about.
Yeah, so it would be really awesome to see more characters come down the lines for both legions, especially the older legions, like Death Guard, Emperor's Children.
Hell, an Iron Hand.
An Iron Hand.
They need some help.
Who is both just a murder blender and also helps his friends. So, anyway.
It's not enough that you succeed on your own. You must lift others up with you.
That's right. That's the Imperial Fist mantra, I think.
By God. It really is. But okay.
I thought it was stack Legos, but not as well as Perturabo knocks them down.
Eat a dick. No. So to further completely derail Austin's aside here, when we look at the legacy of the Imperial Fist in 40K and the wider Warhammer world, which we're going to look at here,
lose a company to make any given Chaos Lord look more badass.
Easily captured by the Iron Hands or the Iron whatever. Iron Warriors.
Named
Mary and
Imperial Fist
Joseph
character go out of production and sent off the rotation.
Okay. Continuing with that, we see the Executioners, whose main deal is we carve off the faces of our foes and put them on the mantelpiece.
Yep, that's healthy.
We magnetize them to the refrigerator of the communal.
Hang on a
the
second,
Night Hag,
Jared.
our battle barge.
Jared, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
This is the Executioners, right? That do all
They
of
execute.
this.
Yes.
Are you sure they're not just Night Lords that make things
you were mad earlier that someone posted a conversion of a Chaos Fafnir Rhan? What? I'm ending on that. I gotta go. Have fun reviewing Dominion Zephon.
So, but my point here is they have a decided, and I would encourage anyone interested to look into the Lexicanium of the Badab War and look into the history of the Executioners, because it's objectively it's super cool.
It sounds kind of scary, but okay.
Yeah, they are of the Loyalist Space Marine chapters. They are just nasty. They're so mean. They do end up on the wrong side of the Badab War, because at some point the Astral Claws saved their chapter from annihilation, and they owed them a blood debt. They said, hey, call upon us at any point and we will help you out. And the Astral Claws do, and they fight for them for a long time and kick lots of ass. And then the Astral Claws get warp tainted, and the Executioners turn on them and get sentenced to a penitent crusade, for which likely all of them have died for their turning against
crimes. Crimes is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, very much so.
And so Fafnir Rhan, for those of you that were wondering about his legacy, it is heresy, damnation, and ruin.
So
ignominious ruin.
So for our listeners, my 40K force, which is sitting in the cabinet unpainted and unprimed. I'm sorry, guys.
I wouldn't have even mentioned it if I didn't know that.
Shut up. No, is executioners, and they're all Primaris. The fluff is that they found a chaplain buried in the dirt of some world, and they're searching for their like lost children. They're searching for the remnants of the executioners chapter, the first generations on this penitent crusade.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's my little head fluff for where the executioners chapter is going in the 41st millennium. But when we look at their great granddaddy, we see Fafnir Rhan. We see this guy.
A man who truly does represent all the executioners come to be.
Things get a little spicy.
And having shat so comprehensively on Derek's parade.
Let's talk about Zephon, guys.
And yet dimmed my joy, not at all.
Let's talk about Zephon. Dominion Zephon, Blood Angel.
That was a good mark, Jesse.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Dominion Zephon.
Yeah, Dominion Zephon. All right. It's just me and
that's
Jared.
That's
I
Jared.
think
Yeah,
over there.
This guy who likes painting yellow.
Once again, we'd like to thank our would-be sponsor, and by would-be I mean if you give us lots of beer, we'll call you a sponsor.
By God.
Christmas pancakes.
Yeah. All we need,
Hardywood Brewery, Richmond, Virginia.
we just need a 4-pack a week. Not even a 6-pack. We just need a 4-pack a week.
Yeah.
Check it out if you're ever in RVA, Hardywood.
Yeah, in the winter
stuff.
times, the Christmas pancake, delightful.
Yeah, actually, just about any beer place in Richmond is good. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well,
Yeah,
to
business.
I'm not very picky, so I'll drink anything at least once at least twice. Dominion Zephon, 185 points. A little bit lower. Okay. A little bit lower than
Our boy
Fafnir
Fafnir.
Rhan.
Yep.
Well, he's not as good, so it's fine.
yeah, rolling in at that's kind of let's take a look.
No, he's really good. He's really good.
Weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, strength 2 up. Your standard Praetor affair.
Save 2 up.
Save 2 up, excuse me. What did I say?
You said
Strength.
Jeez.
which would be hilarious.
Yeah. He has Artificer Armor, the Spiritum Sanguis, Lament and Grief, which is one weapon, I guess.
We'll get to that later.
Yep. Jump Pack, Iron Halo, Frag, Crack, and Rad Grenades, and Melt Bombs. He can only be taken as part of the Loyalist faction army, as you can probably guess. Special rules, Blood Angels, Independent Character, Master of the Legion, Furious Charge, Stubborn, Gunslinger, we'll talk about that later, Paragon of Restoration, and Warlord. If he is your army's Warlord, he has the Exarch of the High Host Warlord trait rather than rolling randomly. This Warlord trait says if Dominion Zephon is the army's Warlord, then a Legion Destroyer squad may be selected as part of the same HQ choice. A unit selected in this manner is considered a retinue squad. The retinue squad does not use up a force organization slot and is considered part of the same unit as Dominion Zephon. The retinue squad must be deployed with Dominion Zephon deployed as part of the unit, and Dominion Zephon may not voluntarily leave the retinue squad during play. All models in a Legion Destroyer squad chosen using this Warlord trait gain the Chosen Warriors special rule. Unless this option is selected, no other unit may be selected for Dominion Zephon using the retinue special rule, and he may never join any other unit.
All right, I got an issue there. The Blood Angels have a destroyer-specific unit that's already there in the book. Why the hell didn't they include that in his choices?
Because I will say, from a fluff perspective, he was fucked up. So Dominion Zephon, he was, pride of the Legion, everybody's favorite kid, horribly maimed by some sort of Xenos. I don't think it's even specified. It's just a Xenos blade.
Yeah, whatever.
Kind of rips him into a billion tiny pieces. He gets a bunch of augmetics that don't actually work, and he winds up in the Crusader host, which is pretty much the poster children Space Marines on Terra while the Great Crusade does its thing.
Sanguinius really should have made some friends in the Mechanicum.
Right? Because when the heresy breaks out and the Custodes are in the webway, Zephon also goes in the webway pretty much on a death wish, but meets Arcan Land, who's...
So wait. They specifically put him in there because they want to see what loyalist Space Marines will do in the webway, and they need a fairly harmless prototype to see, okay, that's our demo guy.
He can't go crazy and kill anybody because look at him.
Yeah.
He can't lift a pistol.
No,
Meanwhile,
Zephon's like, no, you're gonna make me. You're gonna let me get in there.
yes.
So-
But meanwhile, Arcan Land finds him and is essentially like, "Why do you have such shitty augmetics?" And just sort of fixes all the problems that have kept him on Terra for a century and a half.
Jesse,
The tech priest don't fix me up. No good.
Yeah.
Wasn't it you who said they pulled the USB out and turned it upside down?
Yeah, that's practically it.
just like that old Super Nintendo cartridge. They just pulled it out, blew in it, put it back in. It worked fine.
Did you try hitting?
Did you try turning it on and off again?
Yeah. That's the 30K equivalent of what we got.
Anyway, so my argument would be he doesn't go with the Blood Angel specific units because they weren't around when he was in the Legion.
I would have to look at that fluff to just.
Excellent. So I'm right, and we're moving on, and this will be immortalized in the internet forever.
That being said,
So that's
shitty.
But
that
no, in the
Fafnir-
comments section, I'm going to be stacking bodies.
It's shitty that Fafnir can roll around with all the special fancy fuck off Imperial Fist units, but he gets the Destroyer Squad.
That's
To be
why
fair,
he's 15
Fafnir Rhan
points more expensive.
Is the new hotness.
No, he's
So
timeless.
hot right now.
and,
This is why he doesn't get yeeted by a brick.
yeah.
But this is
But at least Zephon gets a jump pack.
yeah,
He
and
doesn't have to pay 10 points for a teleport transponder.
yes,
Like a
but
peasant.
this isn't the point. This is a neat little bit of fluff because you can take him as just a regular dude.
Yeah.
I will say though, the one downside of having this retinue squad is that it doesn't specifically state if the retinue squad is dead, he can join another squad. If the retinue squad gets axed out from under him, he's on his own.
No, it says very specifically. I see.
Yeah, he may never
Unless this option is selected, no other unit may be selected
Yeah.
for Zephon using the retinue special rule.
Yeah,
And he may never.
command.
Well, and it says, and at the end it says,
Yeah.
and he may never join any other unit. So he's stuck.
Yeah,
He's
so
stuck.
he's stuck.
I'm
Now,
all alone.
But again, you don't have to take this.
beside me.
You don't have to take it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You can just have him as a regular, Praetor equivalent, doing his regular thing, joining squads.
with
doing
an
whatever.
assault squad.
Yeah, sure. It is a warlord trait.
Yeah.
You may choose not to use him as the warlord.
It's fine. And even if it is the warlord trait and he's the warlord,
Don't take destroyers.
yeah, you don't have to buy him that destroyer squad.
Yeah.
So the other fun thing he's got, though, Paragon of Restoration. Gives him Feel No Pain 5-up. In addition, the first time in any battle that Dominion Zephon loses his last wound or is otherwise removed from play as a casualty, the controlling player must immediately roll a d6. On a 4-up, he remains in play with a single wound remaining instead of being removed or destroyed. And that is wildly good.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oh, I've been instant deathed by something. Not even instant death. I've been hit by a D weapon and removed from play. Nah, bro.
Yep.
That's not what's going down today.
The only downside to that is if you got hit by a D weapon, odds are you're probably going to get hit by another D weapon here pretty soon.
Look, we're not
fine,
fighting
it's fine.
Eldar Wraithguard. It'll be fine.
That falchion in the far back corner of your opponent's side of the table is probably not going to go away by the time.
Jesse's already making plans here.
He's also got, for weapons, the Spiritum Sanguis, a powerful broad-bladed sword of exquisite craftsmanship. The Spiritum Sanguis was presented to Zephon by the 9th Legion Master of Artisans upon his departure to join the Crusader host on Terra. Thanks for coming out and participating in the Great Crusade. Here's your lovely parting gift.
Yeah, here's something shiny. Enjoy that. You're never going to use it.
Right? It's strength plus...
It was ceremonial, guys. Ceremonial.
Jesus. It's strength +1, AP2, melee two-handed, sweeping strike, mastercrafted. Sweeping strike, if a model with a weapon with its special rules in base contact with more than one enemy model at the initiative step in which they fight, they gain +1 attack.
Keep in mind, if you're in a challenge, you only count as base contact to that specific model that you're in a challenge with. So
you
wouldn't get that plus.
But this is not a challenge character. Like Fafnir Rhan is
no,
a
he's not. He's not.
This is a Reeve through the Mooks character because that will give him 5 attacks at initiative 5.
It's not bad.
At strength 5, AP2.
Really, if you want to be extra fancy, take him with another Praetor. But then you just got 2 Praetors.
Not to mention, he also has...
Honestly. Stick him with an assault squad, stick another guy with an assault squad.
He has the jump pack, so... he's got Hammer Wrath if you choose that. If he's with the Destroyer squad, they have rad grenades, so he's also...
He gets rad grenades in his war gear.
Oh, he got his random grenades too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a Destroyer Marine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Points
and
of war
again,
gear.
185 points. So he's going to be cheaper than most other Praetors. By the time you've kitted out your generic Praetor, he's going to be right in there with him.
Yeah,
he also has...
Paragon Blade, Melta-Bombs, Jump Pack, Iron Halo. I think that would put you at 185 or in the ballpark at least.
He also has that thing which has the internet bamboozled. Lament and Grief. A pair of artificer-made Volkite Serpentor pistols. Lament and Grief fire powerful beams of binding white light over short ranges that sear the flesh as well as the sight of their targets. 10-inch range, strength 5, AP 5, pistol 2, Defilgrate, blind. Which is great because he has Gunslinger.
Basically one Volkite Serpenta. It's 2 Volkite Serpentas and 1 weapon profile with 2 extra inches of range.
Yes. No further questions.
Yeah.
Except for why does he have Gunslinger?
Yeah, that's what really threw me off.
Really
initially, I assumed Gunslinger. Oh, yeah, that specifically calls out, if you have 2 pistols, you can fire both of them in the same turn. Are they, I assume that they're calling Lament and Grief basically 2 separate weapons. So does that mean he's got basically 4 attacks with each pistol firing twice?
So I would...
The downside...
So say...
You could argue that, but it's
a rough argument because the fact that Lament and Grief is one specific war gear item.
So this is how I would do it. Say Will paints up a Blood Angels army and he's, facing my Fafnir Rhan Stone Gauntlet in holy combat here. I would say... use the gunslinger rules of you can fire 10 dice at me until you miss. Yeah. And
so you're saying it's not specific to 2 pistols. It's just you get to fire your 1.
That's how I would do
10
it.
shots. And that seems to be the fairest way.
Wait, say that one more time.
So treat him as a Moritat. So
which is also fair is the wrong word. Yeah. I don't know. I
when
think
you're really throwing it weird. niche into it.
I think what's happening here,
Gunslinger,
is
that's his fluff to me.
I think what's happening here is that Games Workshop knows that we're in a goddamn pandemic, even though we seem, knock on wood, to be coming out of it for the 5th fucking time, and that nobody is going to be playing a game with these guys anytime in the next couple of months. And if you let it go until June, maybe Heresy 2.0 will be the summer release, and they'll have new rules for Gunslinger, and this will all make perfect sense.
No, I love that his pistols have blind. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah. 2 shots. That's
2 shots, not great, but blind, man. How many times has Jared fucking fired 1 gun at you and blinded you, and you've hated your life? And he gets to try twice.
Yeah.
Or Jason's rudeness with his Mechanicum.
Yeah.
Don't get me fucking.
But again, this is a great ZM guy, even with the jump pack, because you got that 10 inches and then you blind the guys and then you charge them. 12 inches, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you blind the guys and then you charge them. So you don't have to worry about, Overwatch at full BS fuckery.
No, it's good times.
And Defilgrate. God, why do they keep adding Defilgrate? I play Militia. We got enough problems.
I genuinely hope Militia gets some help in the next edition because they
don't need help.
They've been hurt so bad.
We just keep getting wronged.
Every Legion specific thing that comes out is like, hey, how could we dick over Militia to the maximum degree?
Fucking Nemesis ammunition.
Yeah. Everything the Dark Angels have gotten in the last like 10, 12 months has been like
just everything. Hey. And honestly, we don't need anything. For Militia, I don't want anything new. I don't want any changes to what's already
more
there.
Providences.
I want more Providences. Yeah. And literally, that's it. I don't particularly want or care about new units.
I want more fast attack choices.
I don't though. Like the only thing I would want new unit wise is I would like a Chimera.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they will because it would be going back to like 7th edition stuff that nobody has. I would like some sort of Imperial armor, kind of like, hey, you can bring anything from the old, Imperial Guard, Imperial armor books.
Yeah.
As like that's just your Providence, right? Like if you want Chimeras, one of your Providences is like mechanized infantry.
Okay.
All of your infantry squads can have Chimeras up to their transport value.
Take those Elysian drop troops.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I take it back. There is another unit I want.
Yes.
So bad. They were on jet bikes back in the day.
What are the Death Corps, the cavalry for them?
Death Riders.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck 'em.
They're cool. They're cool.
I want a guy in a big fur hat. Casual disregard for how cavalry actually works.
Teddy Roosevelt in the 41st millennium.
Yeah, that's what I want.
God
I want a
bless
big
him.
fur hat and big front teeth, just like TR.
Charging up the
TR's massive amount of
infested
teeth.
San Juan Hill.
It's an extra attack, just all the teeth.
Cuba Libre.
The Count is blind from all the glow, from the whiteness of the teeth. Thank
Nobody
you, TR.
has white teeth.
Do the weekly question.
Oh, shit.
It is answering the weekly question. This is going to be a fucking 2-hour call by the time we get done with it.
Dear God.
So I've thought long and hard about this.
Yeah.
So
read
the
the question. Yeah.
Question is, loyalties aside, what 3 Astartes legions would you choose to attempt to overthrow the Imperium? You also get to destroy any 3 legions at the start. It's basically build your own massacre.
Yes.
And bonus points if you keep the Imperial Fists as loyalists defending Terra.
And we did caveat this for us, the crew here at RR30K, that you must have your legion as one of the 3. We did caveat that.
Did we?
We did.
Because
I don't remember that.
You didn't do that? Well, whatever.
my legion is defending Terra. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Pick another side. So I'll go first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So naturally, because I'm apparently the only one that listened to the rules, Space Wolves are there. And I think that's a good choice regardless. They are the Emperor's executioners.
Disagree, but okay.
Their whole point to existing is to put down other legions. So it's a solid core of shock troops. Also, less well known, they also have a really good intelligence network. That's something that's mentioned several times in the books, and I quote, peerless intelligence network.
Yet they are not known for their own intelligence.
And that's literally the point. Is it like, and that's honestly the full quote is nobody expects like uncultured barbarians or something like that to have a peerless intelligence network. So that's good.
Peerless might be an instance of unreliable narrator in the
the Alpha.
It's
the Alpha Legion.
Yeah, a little bit.
Certainly, I would say peerless compared to like a normal intel network.
You would expect a legion to have.
What you would expect a legion to have. I'm certainly not claiming they're as good at it as the Alpha Legion. So that's my core force.
They also get infiltrated by some rubes from the Dark Angels. Just saying.
So you claim.
So is in the books.
Next on my list, Perturabo's boys, the Iron Warriors, because that's already been proven that they can take the Imperial Fists on Terra.
Has it?
Did you not read Mortis?
Yeah, I read Perturabo rage quitting the heresy.
Because he won and nobody would listen to him.
He got so mad.
And he got so mad he took his toys and left.
No hand in the final stages.
So I like
Horus took over.
I like him for two reasons. One, you'll know they're going to beat the Imperial Fist, but not to shit on Jared's parade yet more. At the base, they're a legion that is used to doing high tempo operations. They're used to constant resupply. A lot of these legions you see, they'll fight those initial battles in the heresy, and then they're just kind of crippled for the rest of it because they don't have all the infrastructure in place to be like, man, we run through our entire legion's worth of Marines every 3 months. Iron Warriors can do that, and they're expert siege warfare troops, and they're real good at, counting the bullets and making sure everything works. That's real important. And then, so we've got our siege troops, we've got our shock assault troops, and now you need the most important thing to any war that you're fighting on a galactic scale, logistics, which means the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines are mediocre fighters at best for Legionnaire, for like a legion,
Generous,
for like
but
a Legion of Astartes. They are bog standard.
They
That's
don't
their
like
whole
it.
gig. Nobody that play Ultramarines come at me because literally their whole point is that they're the standard.
When they play Mario Kart, they pick Mario.
Exactly.
We got him.
Exactly. However, the thing that they're better at than most other legions is logistics. And logistics is what wins you wars. It's not that I'm better than the guy pointing a bolter directly across from me. It's that when I get to the battlefield, the guy directly across from me is pointing his bolter at me and 4 of my closest friends, right? You just have the advantage. So those are the 3 that I would take into the fire, and they have the advantage. Ultramarines, they're the largest legion. Iron Warriors, again, can sustain themselves through high tempo operations, and the Space Wolves are built to beat other legions to death. The 3 you get rid of, you got to get rid of the fucking Thousand Suns. We know the Space Wolves can take them, right? That happened. However, there's so much psychic fuckery going on that you cannot allow them to augment. Like you can hit them once and annihilate them, but you can't allow them to be like on the walls of Terra augmenting the Imperial Fist and Blood Angels, right? It's just not a good idea. Not a good look. Deck them. Next on the list, you've got to get rid of the Dark Angels. Because the Dark Angels, they're a little small for a legion.
They got skeletons in the closet, though.
They got fucking sentient AI in the closet, and
Yeah.
you can't let those outside.
I guess this is. We never really established a timeline because they were the biggest prior to the Rangdan Xenocides.
Yeah.
I would assume that you're talking at Standard Heresy. Kind of, you get them at Ullanor, right?
Okay, fair.
So
Yeah.
So they've been beat down a little bit, but still, you deck them. You deck them. So that's the 2. And I was very torn on the 3rd Legion to get rid of. Because I came very close to getting rid of the Luna Wolves and Horus. But this isn't so much about like what an individual Primarch can do. This is more, the Legion as a whole, big picture.
Yeah.
And for big picture, the 3rd thing you get rid of is the Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
And if you get rid of the Alpha Legion, then you're now competing with who else in the intelligence world? Because if the Space Wolves have a peerless, a better than average intel setup, and you've gotten rid of the one that nobody will argue has the best intel setup, then at the very least you're on a level playing field and you probably have some sort of advantage.
The Raven Guard would be like an honorable mention. That's it.
Are they really?
But they're sneaky, but you don't know if they have an intel network. Like they never mention, like they've got that.
In book 3, it's mentioned, and it's covered in detail of what a colossal intelligence failure Istvan was in particular.
And I would actually point that out to them not being that great at it.
Exactly.
Their intel network failed them at Istvan.
Yeah. So how can it be that good?
Right.
So they're up there, but they're not that great.
Those are the 3 I would get rid of. And I think with that, and that's just, we're just poofing them, right? No casualties to get rid of. And I think with that, you can then turn the tables and pick off some of the bigger legion. You know, you can get rid of the Blood Angels at like a drop site massacre equivalent. You know that Perturabo can take Dorn at Terra because he does it ostensibly, because he says very specifically, spoiler alert, Mortis, he says, "We have won, except now nobody's listening to me." And that's
Perturabo's timeless complaint.
And Dorn himself goes, "Man, we've lost. I real hope people stop listening to him." Like that's the subtext.
And
right?
yet somehow Horus doesn't win.
Yeah, because Horus is fucked up.
Because Horus is fucked up. So Dorn takes it, or Perturabo takes his toys and leaves. However,
Literally rage quits the entire war.
He does.
I mean, it's like a Robert E. Lee situation.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He wants you to take that hill if practical.
Yeah.
It was not practical. Spoiler alert.
I was a little lazy and I didn't do it. So yeah, that's my thought process behind the 3 I would take and the 3 I would go. And all hail God Emperor me.
So Jesse, if you don't mind me going next.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So our thinking is intermeshing Austin and I's in certain ways, but in opposite perspectives here. The legions I would take to win it all, specifically the Dark Angels. The guys who are, geared, the oldest legion, the legion that's designed to win wars, who has access to technology, who has a culture of, knighthood, of a warrior class that is on par with any other legion, I would argue, but who also has big guns, who excels in, all or nothing warfare that's, maximum destruction. Even as loyalists, they're out here nuking whole worlds.
It's true. They give exactly 0 fucks.
Yeah. Turn that to the traitor's side, you're in for a bad time. And you see in the way the heresy plays out in the books, the Dark Angel's biggest pitfall is the lion cannot keep his house in order.
It's 100% true. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're not great as a traitor legion. Just because they have such a fucking mess. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Dark Angels, presumably in this scenario, Johnson gets his shit together.
Being unified.
And, and it's a unified legion push. Yeah.
In my head,
we absolutely are granting that for the purposes of this.
Yeah, that's my headcanon for this particular scenario is they are of one mind when it comes to taking Terra. They're number one on my list.
All right.
Number 2 would be Perturabo, because you got to have somebody running the numbers. You got to have somebody who's doing the dollars and cents, who's handling logistics. And, Guilliman's good at it, but he's not a fighter. Jesse, I
heard most of it.
He's good at it. That's a strength, but as Sanguinius points out in one of the books, abacuses are not swords. Your little ledgers of logistical information are not.
And I quote: "The sinews of war are infinite money."
But Pert excels at that in a more bellicose way than Guilliman does. But wait, my third would be Sanguinius and the Blood Angels. Specifically, they're an assault, legion. They are damn near peerless fighters. The traitors, when when we get a little glimpse in the books of Horus's war plans, we see, we got to worry about Sanguinius because he's really gonna, kind of mess with shit. He is arguably the best fighter among the Primarchs. Even Leman Russ in Wolfsbane is talking. He's like, I don't know if I can take Sanguinius. He's a bad dude. And we see him, hurting Horus in some capacity at the height of his power.
He's certainly at that top 2 or 3 Primarchs.
Yeah. Barring demonic possession, he is one of the baddest dudes. And his legion, while flawed in their, the Black Rage genetic template, you got some issues there. When has that bothered traders?
And if you want good shock troops.
Yeah. They are, attack wise, they're to rival any other legion. I think they would, and we see it with the triumvirate, with the Imperium Secundus,
Bobby G's big mistake.
Yeah. If they would have gotten their shit together, they had some really good stuff going. So those three, I think, if coordinated, if properly led, which obviously the Lion does not play well with others. Neither does Pert.
But everybody loves Sanguinius.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's super charismatic. Yeah.
So presumably he would be your War Master.
I think he would have been a way better War Master than a Horus would have been.
Horus was so good.
He does one good thing well, and he was promoted above his ability to do his job.
So who are you getting rid of?
All right, getting rid of the White Scars. Specifically, because they are perhaps, I would argue, the most mercurial of legions, even more so than the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion, they see kind of the stakes and they pick a side. The White Scars, they're like, hey, we see what happened, and we're mobile enough. We're fast enough of a legion that, when they finally determine their loyalty, even after it's like totally dicking over the Space Wolves, they're able to make it to Terra and stand on the walls and hold the line and, really kick a lot of ass in a way that so many other legions did not. And fight a type of warfare that was so disruptive to the traders' war efforts. I think they would be a thorn in the side that would be absolutely one to annihilate. Second has got to be Ultramarines. We see in the books, specifically the later Siege of Terra books, everybody's stock is on Guilliman coming to save our asses here. We are hopelessly outnumbered. Every single logistical element is working against us. Hey, 13th, can you make it through? And he's the guy who, for all of his faults, and they are manifold and have been covered in detail.
On many a Guilliman day.
Yeah. Survives 2 legions surprise attacking him. With, due to his own incompetence, no warning. But he's able to recover from it, and still at the end of it, having a bunch of world burned to ash and a significant portion of his legion just wiped out. He is able to come back from that and be the principal driving force that's putting pressure on Horus and is the thing that's going to save the loyalists' butts on Terra. So take him out of the equation and you're not in for good times.
It's true.
And the third has got to be sticking with the fluff. The Iron Hands. They are the guys who go down with the hardest of fights. We see them broken after Isfahan, and they're still at Legion strength and are still able to create, some sort of a cohesive campaign with the Shattered Legions holding up Horus, delaying the advance. Taking them out of the equation was absolutely the correct thing to do there. I can't think of another legion that would rather have removed that could consistently wage war in that fashion, and particularly the type of war that we see in the Heresy. The Space Wolves were close in that just how nasty they can be, but they're in my opinion they're one off. They're not as suited to attritional warfare as the Iron Hands are.
You can't see a Space Wolf holding a siege.
No. And there's that great little snippet in Warhawk where Dorn's like, man, it'd be great if the Space Wolves were here. You could really use them right about now. Have couple thousand shock troops to, cleanse the streets, but nope, they took off. That's, I think guys like Russ, Dorn, Russ, Angron, had a couple beers here, tend to lack the patience to hold out until they are most useful. They shoot their shot at some, maybe pivotal moment, but it's not where they could be most useful to whatever the cause they're serving is. Mm-hmm. So that's my take. I think those three, God bless, I love the Imperial Fist with all my heart, but I think they'd have a tall order holding against that.
Would take Terra.
If he didn't have a bloated, warp tainted Jabba the Hutt as a boss.
That's true.
Yeah.
You had all the cards are in your deck.
Yeah, no, I can quibble with your choices, but I can't argue with them as being a solid line of reasoning.
Yeah, that's my take. That's my hot take.
All right.
Okay. So I'm not going to be as long-winded as you guys. You guys can eloquently...
verbal poetry. All right. Lord Byron right here on 30K.
So, legions I would take. I think we kind of had a mini caveat to ourselves of we'd take our favorite legion.
Yeah.
So
I deliberately avoided that, to be clear.
Well, yeah, because you have to keep those guys on Terra.
Yeah.
The Dark Angels, of course.
Solid choice.
It's an extremely solid choice.
Yeah.
Post-Isfan, with the amount of crazy weaponry that we've been given from the Emperor's
Vortex
own...
torpedoes for everyone.
Yeah, from the Emperor's own, loot box.
And let's face it, the Lion would be the one that would would get to Terra, fight his way through Pluto, orbit Terra, and be like, deploy the Vortex torpedoes.
and
I will make a desert and call it peace.
And throw a few AI down there just to make it safe.
First the nukes, then the rads, then the pathogens, then the sentient AI.
And then some regular bullets.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not one for symbolic victories.
No. Yeah. Little known fact, his middle name is Pragmatic.
Yeah.
And his second middle name is a bit of a hussy. Just, yeah.
I'll see. Jesus.
All right. Second, Iron Warriors. It's...
You got to have somebody working that abacus.
Pert did a real good,
he heard
CV.
those cats.
He had a real good CV for the first 4 or 5 books of Siege of Terra.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'd like to have him.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all love that scene where,
He drags a space Hulk out of the void.
that and, where his whole, crew is just rocking and rolling, playing Warhammer 40K, drinking... drinking Mountain Doom.
He just
eating
wants
nachos,
to make his little Titans and play 40K.
Yep.
Holographic 40K. So yeah, solid.
Mm-hmm.
And a third one, Space Wolves.
Interesting.
We need a specific loyalist killer, or a specific legion killer.
They're right there.
They are,
and I love how you double down on
equipped
that.
to the executioners.
I love how you double down on that.
Think of a force of Space Wolves, Dark Angels, and Iron Warriors.
I mean, to be fair, the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels put down the Ragden.
Yeah.
So all right.
I would dispute that for the fact that the Lion and Russ do not have the most amicable relationship.
If you've read the Primarch book,
No,
you
I've
would.
not.
Yeah. So again, this is spoilers. I think just for Russ's Primarch book.
What?
Yeah.
Because that goes down to the traditional fight, like fist fight that breaks out.
Because you have those as Primarchs.
To be fair, Russ was the one that was like, "This is kind of dumb. We should stop."
Because we're in fifth
and then
grade.
the Lion was like, "You're out of your goddamn mind." But it stops, and then it ends, and then you see them again on the ashes of, in the ashes of Terra after the siege, after Big E's been interned, and they're having some sort of conversation. I don't really remember what it is. I think they're both kind of like, "Why the fuck weren't you here?" Like they were both kind of having that conversation with each other, and Russ was sort of like, "You fucking asshole. This is because we didn't finish our fight, isn't it?" And the Lion, I forget what he does. He might not do anything. And Russ is just like, "What, do you want it to end? Just fucking stab me then, and let's end it." And he does like arms wide, just fucking stab me.
Okay.
And the Lion does. And he does. And he pulls it out. And they kind of have a moment, they're like, "Are we good?" "Yeah, we're good." So I think they could make a go of it.
Dumbasses.
That scenario would just happen, presumably when they're like concocting their heresy.
8-year-olds.
Primarch boys being Primarch boys.
Transhuman. Literally boys.
But I love how, so Jared, I think, went, because we all have the same thought. It's, let's get our logistics down, let's get a shock legion, and then let's get somebody else to make our lives better. And I doubled down on the logistics side of things. And Jared went kind of the holistic approach. And then you, Jesse, doubled down on just, I need someone that can fucking murder a legion, and I need it fucking now. It's awesome. It's good. It's
Murder,
good.
siege, irradiate.
Yeah, it's good. Repeat.
So, removal of legions. Alpha Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Because fuck the Alpha Legion.
Fuck them guys.
Fuck them.
The last thing we need is a bunch of weirdos who just like sneak around and pretend to be other things, getting all up in my business.
Storm's teeth to the face.
Just, Thanos flick that real quick.
Gone.
Ultramarines.
Yeah, get rid of the other guy's logistics.
Get rid of logistics and, the biggest other player in the game.
Yep. Solid.
And, like you said, 1,000 Suns. Again, removing that ridiculousness of just psychic shenanigans.
So to argue against you two on the 1,000 Suns specifically, I believe, and looking at Fury of Magnus in particular, they are so defective. Really, the best use for them would be sticking them in the webway as like a penitent crusade, like kill as many demons as you can, hold off the tide. They're so, the flesh change is advancing it and like exponentially.
I don't want to take the risk of Magnus just having a bad day and wiping out half of the galaxy, including 3/4 of my army.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing of it. Like,
but do you want, like, as a guy who's, the Castellan, do you want that on the wall next to you?
But that's the thing. Do you want that on the wall next to you? Maybe not. And that's presumably like none of us picked them.
Yeah.
Do you want that on the wall across from you?
Yeah. Do you want them on the wall you're trying to get to the top of?
He's a wild card.
Also, no.
I'll give it to you.
Also a firm no. But like the Space Wolves did it, and admittedly, they did do it.
At great cost.
But exactly. Like, look at that. Like, of all the other legions that get surprise attacked in the Heresy, the Ultramarines, everybody at the drop site, Massacre, even the loyalist elements of the Traitor Legions.
The Fists.
Everybody that gets surprise attacked, nobody did a higher casualty rate than 1,000 Suns. Nobody. And they had the freaking Custodes alongside the Space Wolves, which I would argue is...
Why they won?
No, but I would argue that is for sure the toughest combination.
It's not a, especially when you don't raise your void shields or your orbital defenses and just kind of your world get
like surprise attack is a little bit of a but
they knew it was coming.
They knew it was coming, but they also didn't do anything right at the beginning.
The effects of a surprise attack. I'll give you that.
It was essentially a surprise attack.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of them.
Yep. So people also replied on Facebook and Instagram. Starting with Alex Self. He said, destroy the Ultramarines. Loyalists lose their numerical advantage.
Yep.
Destroy the World Eaters. You retain tactical control in the field. Destroy the Alpha Legion. Can't keep to their mission, and all Praetorian of Dorne achieved was alert the Loyalists to weaknesses in their plans, intentionally or otherwise, and allowed them to plug gaps.
It's true. Can't fuck around with Alpha Legion.
Yep. To take to the Imperium. Death Guard for their grinding advance.
A Siege Legion. Yep. It's kind of how we picked the Pert's boys.
Ultramarines for their sheer weight of numbers and logistics.
Okay.
Again, yep.
Yep.
And Alex chose 1,000 Suns. The 15th at peak, I'd happily throw at the walls of Terra, yeeting titans all over the place.
And they would, provided the whole Legion didn't go to flesh change.
And he says, yes, I know, both destroyed and saved the 13th Legion. That's what the powers of chaos let you do.
It's true. I mean, they're either with you or against you, right? It's a solid trio either way. Yeah. I feel like a couple other people.
Yes. I'm picking out ones right now that also had the explanation of why. I guess I should have asked and why at the end of the question.
It's true.
That's my fault. But I'm going to pull this up real quick because I just lost everything here. All right. Three Thin Coats on Instagram mentioned for the Rebels. Sons of Horus. Horus is War Master for a reason, and nothing said about how other legions would align, so can assume many would still side with Horus. That's fair. Yeah, I didn't take that into account. I assumed kind of everything else was going to stay loyal, but
yeah,
you might be able to turn a few.
But that's an interesting, yeah.
Ultramarines, because Horus wanted Rabute and his legion well out of the way for good reason. 1,000 Suns for warp shenanigans. Legions to destroy. Alpha Legion, always working to their own ends, so removes that uncertainty. The White Scars, to remove the best counter to 1,000 Suns and a very rational Primarch. And Dark Angels. Horus wanted them out of the way for a good reason as well, and would have likely removed the line from play entirely given the chance.
Solid choices.
He also put the Defenders of Imperial Fists. They love playing with sandcastles so much they wouldn't miss it for Galactic Conquest anyway. Iron Warriors. All Proto-Rabo ever wanted to do is play sandcastles nicely with Rogel, and Emperor's Children would hate playing sandcastles but still insist that they're best at it.
A fair and valid
so you got
point.
three loyalists, or three legionaries defending Terra too. But
So, I mean, the Emperor's Children did make the perfect fortress, you clowns.
Iron Cage. Garnered that Tree of Will. Dark Angels.
And how did that perfect fortress fall? Oh, yeah.
Dark Angels for numbers and wild tech. 1,000 Suns for psychic shenanigans, and Iron Warriors for numbers. And he'd want to remove the Ultramarines for their numbers, the Blood Angels, and the Imperial Fists gone. So he's like, lose the bonus points and just wipe the Imperial Fists off there.
Just take the easy win.
Yeah, that's yeah.
MY Mark on Instagram also mentions for the traders, Ultramarines for numbers and territory, Alpha Legion for infiltration, and 1,000 Suns for psychers.
I think he's the first one that's taken Alpha Legion. Like, he's willing to put up with that sneaky two-faced two-timing bullshit.
I was really
rather than just annihilating them like everybody else.
I will say I was really considering it too, but I decided to just go to full ham, just
better safe than sorry.
Yep, and just blast everything. For extermination, he chose Sons of Horus because War Master and Decapitation Strike Specialists, get rid of those. Blood Angels for loyal psychers and divination, and Dark Angels for too much exterminatus. Oh, he also has laid out a looks like a 7-step program to actually take over the Imperium. Step 1, Alpha Legion infiltrates Space Wolves. Mass Loyalists, Extertus, and Mechanicum forces in the 500 worlds. Step 2, Magnus's Folly. Step 3, Space Wolves take T-Suns to Terra. Step 4, gather Sons of Horus, Blood Angels, and Dark Angels. Destroy them, kill Horus. Step 5, surviving loyal legions crusade against 500 worlds. Imperial Fists remain on Terra, along with Space Wolf Guards, the Alpha Legion infiltrators. Ultramarines trade ground for time and delaying actions across the worlds. World Eaters are as much a help as a hindrance to the Loyalists.
Fair enough.
Step 6, Alpha Legion kills Malkador and the Sisters of Silence. 1,000 Suns and Magnus psychic duel the Emperor. It's a draw until Alfarius stabs him. I'm assuming the Emperor.
But
Terra is
Alfarius can't kill shit.
It's Alfarius, though, so we're not quite sure who that him is.
Could have stabbed both.
Could have stabbed them both.
Magnus guides the small remains of the legions to safety. And step 7, Emperor, Sigillite, War Master, and Praetorian are dead. Terra is dead. The chain of command is shattered, and the cause is lost. Raven Guard, Space Wolves, and World Eaters continue fighting. The other legions withdraw to establish their own empires. Loyal Exters and Mechanicum forces have no reason to continue the fighting. The Imperium is destroyed. Long live Ultramar.
Essentially. And that's an interesting end state of him. It's not like the Dornian heresy where there's the Imperium and there's the Ultramar. He's essentially saying, I'm going to get rid of these three, and then there's going to be, Alfarius and the 1,000 Suns kind of on Terra doing their thing. Ultraman's going to have Ultramar, and everybody else will essentially carve out their own little pocket empire.
Run their own little sim simulation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most realistic.
I mean, it's not a bad gig. Yeah, no, I like the concept. It would be an interesting what if to explore.
Yeah. Void Imperatrix says, I take the Dark Angels, the Iron Warriors, and 1,000 Suns. And I wipe the Ultramarines, Sons of Horus, and Alpha Legion. Minishar 33, Sons of Horus, devotion to their Primarch keeps them going. Dark Angels, Badass Death Legion, and Ultramarines numbers and resources to match the Imperium. I would also destroy the Word Bearers, too devoted to Emperor to stop, the Death Guard, too stubborn to give ground when defending Terra, and Iron Warriors, as with them and Fists defending Terra, forget it. That's a good point.
It's true.
If you had them working side by side,
If you're not taking one of them, you got to destroy at least.
It's oil and water. Guys.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Son of Vulcan, the heretics would be Space Wolves, already taken out 2 other legions, ? World Eaters, Rust plus Angron equals destructive fun. And Iron Hands, they form a strong alliance with Mars and incite the schism, incorporating forbidden tech for themselves. He has the Shattered Legions as the Sons of Horus, the biggest threat, ? Emperor's Children, their destruction is symbolic and sends a strong message. And Dark Angels, ultimate insult to the First Legion. The Defenders, Imperial Fists, who doesn't love a bonus point? Salamanders as his faves. He's biased, but known for epic last stands pre-Vulcan.
Yep.
And Thousand Suns. This Magnus really did nothing wrong.
You know, that would be an interesting follow-up question to this.
Yeah.
Since a couple of people have said, who would you take to defend the walls? Like, if you had to take 3 legions to defend the walls, who would they be?
That's a really good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the first mention of the Salamanders, too. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. Took a while.
Salamanders, Iron Hands, get the fuck out of here. Like, you are not taking that wall. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like that's too much. You'd need at least one. We'll save it.
Yeah.
We'll save it for another time.
Okay.
We'll save it for another
Okay. That's a great question. We'll go into it.
Yes. Thank you, listeners that have put out their Defenders of Terra list.
Yes.
We're coming
love
back
you.
to it.
Yep. Yeah, we'll probably come back to this because
Yeah.
some of the guys had to leave, and I know
Yeah.
there were opinions. So, real quick, next question for the next week. I'm gonna pick one over here. We're gonna go a little less fluffy and go into more of a just general gaming. What's your favorite in-game vehicle and why?
Okay.
That'll be our question next week. So, with that being said, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Instagram at RR30K Podcast. Be sure to check out our website, rr30k.com. If you'd like to support us, go over to patreon.com/RR30K Podcast. And right now, as always, we'd like to thank all of our patrons, starting with our Legion Praetors, Alex Selth, Chaplanisar, Chris Mack, Jacob Dillon, Gardner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Michael Tisdale, Mr. Baldwick, Nick Quenga, Rena the Floof, Sar Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bus 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's, and What's Ligma. Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Dave Jones, Duncan, Ed, John Christensen, M. Tanzer, Gorkrow, Nick, son of Tacticus, and Void Imperatrix. And our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Jay DeSales, Jay Grammaticus, Carl, Mr. Sear, Nick Gillen, and the Zoe. Once again, thank you all so much for listening and supporting us. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. This is Jesse.
You're doing the pointing again. Damn it.
Austin's the only one in here. You're the only one left in here.
And you still pointed, and it threw me off.
Keep those dice rolling, and bye for now.
Night, everybody.